Salam alaikum, Phoenix Ramadan, back in the light about Brazeera, video 2. Okay, so we said you have the motivation to do something from all the seed planting, right, and all the showering from the Leo new moon. Then by February 18th, there should be some growth. You'll know you've grown by you've had this motivation to do something, a desire. It's like, and it won't stop. It's going to get more and more and more intense. That's when you know you're on the right path, and you will know that you planted your seeds well. Okay, and don't let anything or anybody stop you from that drive to do something, because collectively it will be a drive to speak out, a drive to do something, a drive to help something, just something. Okay, don't let nothing get in the way of that. Okay, follow your heart, because the seed, okay, you will have planted in your heart. Okay, so follow your heart. Okay, so now after one has spiritually intercourse with their spirits. After one has spiritually intercourse, and that is prayed, right? Hoped and planted their intentions, right? Let me do that again. Okay, after one has spiritually intercourse with and planted their seeds in the universe above the celestial belt, it is time, at this time, at the Leo full moon, to nurture, as we said, and shower them in love in order that they may germinate and take root. So they're going to take root and grow. They should be taking root, and that means root. Okay, because they're in the heart, so they're going to germinate. When they germinate, what does that little seed do? It's like the little a semen seed, right? With the little tail, that little wiggly tail, right? So the seed is in the heart, right? And then it begins to germinate, get that little wiggly tail, take root in the root chakra, right? So now that means you have already passed you're already in a good place, because you've already gone through several chakras. So now that little tail is going back down to grow, to anchor itself, okay, in the root chakra, so that when the seed begins to rise, right, and go through the other higher chakras, right, the higher channels in the body, then it will have something it will be anchored, right? Yeah, and that's why you don't want to pluck it out by trying to go backwards and do something backwards, and by overlooking it, the new growth, the intentions, and the desire. And don't unless you're married, okay, then you can intercourse below the belt, if you know what I mean, with that energy. Then it won't be wasted. But that energy to do something, it may feel like sexual energy, right? And that's all good if you're married, right? To utilize it that way. But if you utilize it that way and you're not married, then you're defeating yourself. You're giving that energy away to negative. And we talked about love, commercial love versus true love, right? And how taking, the person takes their positive energy and to utilize it to do something negative. Oh, how'd that go so fast? Oh, okay. Okay, anyway, so taking that positive energy and doing something negative, and then it's gone, right? Flash pan energy, what did we say? Micro energy, or wavelengths versus micro, okay, energy, wavelengths, right? So, or electromagnetic wavelengths, we went back there, right? Okay, so you don't want that energy unless you're married. Yeah, you can give it to your partner. That's going to be some good stuff, right? But if they're not married, then you're going backwards. Okay, take that energy and do something beautiful for yourself, but that will continue to support the system of or the new garden, the energy in the new garden, right? For the new growth, for the new garden that is developing, right? Okay, okay, because using it for below the belt, as that energy goes back down to germinate, it's only going to take away your growth. And then what? Then that takes away the anchor for the seed. Now, if you're married and you utilize that root, I mean, that root, that's cool, that's good, it's all good, Um, so, anyway, so it's going to germinate and take root, and be ready to hold fast at the next moon in dreamy waters. Because now you got to remember this too. When that seed in the heart, begins to germinate, because you're putting passion on it from this Leo moon, when it begins to germinate, okay, and go back down to attach itself to the root chakra, okay, like an umbilical cord, right? If what happens if the umbilical cord is cut too soon? The energy bleeds, the blood bleeds out, right? It has to be what, tied, so it stays in the newborn's body, right? But if it's not tied, all the blood comes out. But that's like the root shock. That new seed that's germinating. It goes like the umbilical cord. It's going down to attach to something so that that seed can begin to burst open with life, right? Okay. Now, no, bear fruits. That's what we want. Bear fruits. It can begin to bear fruits. A tree can grow and bear fruits, right? From using your intellectual mind, right? Anyway, from what the knowledge that you gain from planting the seeds, right? So when it goes down, and we're talking about the umbilical cord, when it goes down, if the person has intercourse, use that energy, because that energy induced, that was given to the person from the universe, right? When they intercourse from the universe, okay, entanglement, right? So to get that induction, right? Or what do they call it? Is it induction? Yeah, induction. Okay. So then if they utilize it wrong, it's like cutting the umbilical cord without tying it, right? So then all the energy is just gone. Use just quick flash pan energy. But if you save it, and that energy, okay, now it's attached itself to the root, right? Okay, and because from the root chakra is energy, fire, and desire. And who sang that song? I think Tina Marie and Rick James sang that, fire and desire. Remember when they sang that song? Okay, so down that root chakra, that fire and desire. You keep that fire and desire going, and the more want, right? It's going to now the energy is going to come from the soul, right? From yourself. And use it wisely, okay, based upon the principles and all the stuff and sacrificing that you did and planting those seeds, right? Okay, and the knowledge that you've gained. So it's going to propel, okay? It's going to pulsate the energy to rise. Okay, that seed to rise and to grow. It's going to feed it the energy, okay, and it's going to pulsate. So now that energy is going to rise through the remaining chakras, and then pulsate and get that crown going. Open up the crown, right? Because that's where you want it to be. Now it can still pulsate and open the crown and have that fire and desire with your married one, because when you have gone to Allah, stood before Allah and got married, and you can share that with your partner, with your companion, yeah, and that's going to be growth together. But then that's like tying the umbilical cord. So now that energy, you got that duality, that energy, that yin and yang going on, right? The wave, the cycle, the electromagnetic energy flowing back and forth, right? Through the intercourse with your partner, with your husband or your spouse. Okay, so the energy is not wasted, because now you're tied. You tied the knot, right? Right. So now the energy is going back and dance, and that's what the dance of the universe, the energy of the dance in the universe, right? Because we said it's male and female, negative and positive. Which negative is not a negative thing; it's just considered female, the negative energy, right? And the positive energy is considered the male, right? Okay. Which is the way life is created, right? Okay, so anyway, so you don't want to give that energy away. You want to let it pulsate to its maximum intensity, right? And you're going to be looking around like, you want to do something, but don't do it. Don't do it. Don't burn yourself. Don't burn it like that. Okay, use that heat to rise back up, to take that seed up to the top. That to take that, so that the fruits can of your knowledge can be utilized, right? Okay, it can be activated, because all of it's going to be activated. You got a lot of knowledge that you gained subconsciously, okay, So excuse me. So you want to utilize that too when that energy rises, because you're trying to go to ascension, and the more intensified it becomes, and the more you control it, the greater your you know the more the intensity becomes, the more power you're giving to the seed for its ability to sprout, okay, and then eventually mature into that tree, and then blossom, and then bear the fruits of your labor, because that's what you want, and that's how you're going to get out of poverty. That's how you're going to get out of the distress. That's how we're going to save this planet, by saving yourselves. Okay. Now, okay. So so we watered them with passion. We showered them. We delicately showered them so the little root can come out. Then in February 18th, yeah, Pisces, new moon, yeah. Okay, 2015. Then we're gonna the Pisces, because Pisces represents the water, and then Neptune energy, okay, represents is so out there, okay. It represents the dream world, okay, the dream state of consciousness, right? And so that represents, okay, oh no, and that's the waters of Pisces, right? And Neptune and the dream, Neptune represents the spiritual dream world dimension of reality, right? So in that time, Pisces, Neptune, water, okay, okay, that's the flood, okay, the flood of energy, and now you're at the spiritual, the above the celestial belt, right? So now there's that flood of energy, because remember, the energy that you put out would be like the cardinal energy, okay, and that's the energy you want to rise and intercourse with the celestial energy, which has the power, right? And that's why you're saving your physical energy, okay? When the seedling begins to germinate at the root chakra, you want to save that energy so that it can rise, okay? It can pulsate at an intensity, okay? And the desire is like the wood that's feeding it, okay? So it's being fed, and it's growing, and it's growing, and it's growing, right? And it's feeding this seed the energy, right? Okay, and so now the seeds, it has the energy, right? So now it has the energy to where now it has the energy, right? So now it's full of our cardinal energy. Now we're going to water. It's going to be watered by the waters of Pisces, and that will be like above the celestial belt. Okay, and so those waters is going to flood the seed, right? That little seed, okay, and it's just going to have, and that's going to cause what? The inducement, okay, and that's when you have you're intercoursing with the universe, right? Okay, so now in intercoursing with the universe, you got that energy, okay? So now that little seed is just flooded with energy, celestial energy, okay? So now you got the celestial energy connected with the physical energy, and it's like, now that little seed, it's going to after it germinates, it's going to sprout, right? And then, if you keep feeding it right, it's going to what? It's going to grow. After the sprout, it's going to grow into a big tree. And then you begin to bear the fruits with your spiritual knowledge that you gain. And that's from the tree, the fruits of the consciousness, right? Okay, from those conscious seeds. Okay, so now we said that. So you want it to grow Okay, at the Pisces new moon, February 18th, and we said, so the spiritual seed will be flooded by the spiritual waters of Pisces, and inshallah, for many of our dreams to come true and manifest. And that's how we make our dreams come true. And dreams are the desires of the heart, right? Those things you just really, really want, and you and sometimes the person believes that it's no way that they can come true. That's because what? They don't have the spiritual fortitude to believe in their dreams, or to even understand, comprehend how those dreams can be manifested. Remember what they said about the law of attraction, okay? Planting those positive seeds, right? Those seeds of fire and desire, right? Okay. So that's how we're going to manifest those desires, those silent, private desires, right? Okay. Now, okay, so and we said, and, okay, so many of the dreams to come true and to be manifested. And on, okay, in our new heaven on earth, because it's not only for our personal growth, right? It's for our personal growth, but we're going to utilize that personal growth to to now do the work. We're going to utilize that personal growth to do the work, okay? Because that's what the knowledge and the new energy is for. So to do the work, to what? To take care of Fukushima, to take care of the collapsing dollar, to take care of weather chaos, to do all the things that the so-called global leaders are not doing, okay, and misguiding you, okay? So that's what the new growth, and that's what the new consciousness, and that's what the new energy will be about, to bring about a new global consciousness, right? That new global consciousness will be manifested, whereby the world will be people will use their physical will to, their willpower to bring about change, physical change, okay, in the market, in the schools, educational system, the political system, all just totally a new paradigm shift, okay? Okay. Now we said, so that will be the new heaven on earth at the beginning of the Virgo full moon, March 15th, because we got the Pisces full moon, new moon, giving birth to the Pisces new moon, giving birth to the Virgo new moon, giving birth to the Aries. No, let me do it again. We got the Pisces new moon giving birth to the Virgo full moon giving rise or erection to the Aries new moon, right? And erection means rise, right? Because that's what it's considered, and that's what it's perceived as. Well, we won't go perceive. Well, that's what does that mean? Cleopatra's needle, the obelisk, or those phallus. Remember we talked about those way back when? Those those phallic symbols, okay? We won't go that far back, but that's like almost going back in the ancient videos. Anyway, we'll move on. Okay, so we said now we want to see that at the Virgo. We want to see some manifestation at the Virgo full moon. Okay, now we should see a good deal at the Virgo full moon, and that Virgo full moon will be what, March 5th, 2/15 rather. And as we collectively continue to cultivate our shared home by cultivating our own spiritual garden, as we said, above the belt, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, and inshallah means God willing. Okay, we should begin to see some of our intentions begin to sprout, as we said, when Virgo, the representative of the celestial Virgin Mother, Cassiopeia, gives rise or gives birth to her child, the Lamb. That's what the Lamb of God was supposed to represent, Aries, okay, in March 20. So, and we said, remember what happens in March? The Pentecost happens in March, because what? Christ was said to have risen again. The Son was supposed to have risen again. The Lamb of God was supposed to have risen again. Well, that's what that means. Aries, the Sun has risen. The galactic, our solar sun has risen again from beneath the celestial, the equator, the celestial equator. Okay, it has gone through all the constellations, or all the constellations it has gone through all the constellations. So now it's back at one, back at it's arising again at Aries. Okay, now yeah, okay. So, okay, and again, what did we say? It gives rise, and that will be March 15, and we said what? The transformation will be over at that time, the Uranus-Pluto square, the galactic shift will be ended, and there will be an equinox, and Jupiter and Leo, and all that stuff, all that good stuff that's going on. We got Sagittarius back, and I mean, Saturn in Sagittarius, in the holy position of Sagittarius, or the constellation. Because remember we said the energy, E equals MC squared, okay? Energy does affect things, and all the planets have different energy, okay? So that means we're going to be affected by the energy. That's, okay, anyway, so now their energy, their planetary energy, as we are affected by the sun's energy, right? Okay, now, so we said, so March 20th, 2015, that's when Aries rises again, or no, that's when the equinox rises, occurs, okay? Usually 21st is when Aries is supposed to begin, or the sun is supposed to be official. Okay, that the sun is now within has risen above the celestial sphere. Okay, from Pisces, and now officially in Aries, or the equinox represents that. Okay, and that occurs March 20th, 2015. Okay. Now, but Aries actually starts, I think, on the 21st of every year. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, put in the comments. Anyway, so now, which is also, as we said, the spring equinox. We should begin to witness our inherent seeds from our heart. Remember those intentions we planted. Those inherent seeds of hope began to expand tremendously, because as we said, Jupiter, the planet which represents growth and expansion, is with Leo this full moon. Okay, so the rewards should be great, personally and socially, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now that is what we said. Now, globally, that is why it is imperative. Let me see your time. Okay. That is why it is imperative for all to believe in and follow their inherent dreams, gifts, and talents throughout this journey through our cosmos. That means through our journey through the cosmos, the months, okay? As we went through Gemini, as we went through the constellation of, let's say, start from Aries, went to the constellation of Aries, went to the constellation of Taurus, went to the constellation of Gemini, the constellation of Cancer, Leo, which we are now, we're not there, but the full moon is there. We're in the constellation of what? Aquarius, because now we got the Leo moon in Aquarius, so we're in that constellation. Almost, so we made, we're at the end of the cycle. Okay, we're at the end of the cycle. We just got Pisces to go, and then from Pisces we go back to a rise of Aries. Okay, and then that will be the beginning of a new celestial year. Okay, so we have not ended our celestial year. We're actually, we will be 3 months behind the celestial year. Now that's the celestial year, but then Ramadan is the moon. Yeah, it's still the same thing for the moon calendar. Okay. No, it's not the same thing for the moon calendar, because the we have the Islamic calendar, and where we not follow the moon, but the time of the year is dictated by the moons, and the new moons, but on the lunar calendar. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so Islam is basically on the lunar. Well, I won't go Islam, but the lunar calendar is perceived as being more favorable, more accurate. Okay, as it relates to the year, complete year. because on this this Gregorian calendar, following the sun calendar, okay, it puts people, it puts the time for, you know, well, it puts people, it places humanity, let's say, out of sync with the universe. Because if let's put it this way, if the new year starts, you know, on what they call a sidereal calendar, if that starts in March, the year starts in March, and they got you saying Happy New Year in January, but the celestial year does not start until March. So what does that say? Okay, it says you're still functioning in 2014, and 2015 won't start until March 2015. Okay, so that's what that's saying there. Okay, okay, yeah. So it places people out of sync. Okay, because we got they're working on three different calendars. The Vatican is working on the sidereal calendar. They got you working on the Gregorian calendar, or the sun calendar, and mashallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Muslims are working on the lunar calendar. Okay, so they're in sync with the universe. Okay, and the sidereal calendar is on the sun, using the sun. Okay, to determine if the new year, when the new year begins. Okay, but they got you going on just, you know, the Gregorian calendar, which is based upon the sun too, but they got you starting the year from January to, or even January would be what? January 1st would be Pisces. Is that Pisces? Yeah, Pisces, maybe Pisces. And Pisces, they got you starting the year in Pisces when the year actually starts. They got you starting the year in the water. They got you in the water rather than putting you in the sun. Okay? So they got you standing in Pisces when the year, and telling you the new year. Now it's New Year's. Happy New Year. We're in the water. Okay? Versus Happy New Year. We're in the sun. Okay? When their Happy New Year begins in the sun, but your Happy New Year begins in the water around tax time. Maybe that's why it's the water maybe that's why it's a New Year for them, huh? Anyway, now, so we said, okay, for all, no, okay, now so we said, where are we at? Okay, that's why it's important for everyone to follow their dreams, right? Because of all of these events, you know, that have been taking place celestially, you know, with the Jupiter and Leo, and the meaning expansion and the galactic shift, and Uranus and Pluto and squaring and the transformation, because all of that energy would have supported you. So that's why it was important to do that. Okay, and if you did that, inshallah, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you and I both our dreams will be, you know, fulfilled with intense feelings and good vibrations. We'll be rewarded with intense feelings and good vibrations, because I know we all waiting. At least I know I am waiting, hoping, and praying. Okay. Anyway, so so as we said, hopefully you followed your dreams throughout this journey. Okay, through the cosmos, because one would be able to measure the impact of their spiritual manifestation. Okay, let me read it again so it'll be clear. Because one would be able to measure the impact of the spiritual manifestation or transformation, okay, that it will have in their personal life, as well as the life of all humanity. Because if it affects, you know, the masses, and then the mass is going to grow, then that should affect everyone, and everyone is becoming more conscious about the earth, the environment, you know, the impact of the environment. But we really, really, really got to do it even more now, because if we don't, in the next generation, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the prophet comes in our generation, you know, that's a possibility. That's a very, very high probability. Okay? And I'm not concerned about saying that. I really believe that's a high probability that the prophet born of a virgin may come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not save this planet from those abominating, sons of witches, okay? You know, and stop the war. So for no reason, and all this transformation and throughout the, you know, celestial sphere for nothing. For Fukushima to only take over before he gets here? No. I pray to Allah, and I believe, you know, I personally believe that he will, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be here in our lifetime. But let's put it this way: if, you know, if I were to think different, then I would have to also imagine that the end of this planet would take place based upon man's negligence, okay, and abuse of power and destruction of the environment would end within our children's generation. So somebody has to come and not save us save us from ourselves, or save those who went through the process of ascension, okay, who put in the work, who put in the tides, who protested in the streets, the genocide. Somebody has got to come and destroy the beast, because he's here, and we're gonna find out who he is. He's here, okay? That piece of shit is here, okay? Now, so anyway, so we said, okay, we should have all see it collectively. Okay, at the Aries new moon, or when the Aries new moon. But we've got to remember, when the Aries new moon happens, there's also the sun is involved. The sun and the moon are together. It's a new romantic time. The sun and the moon are intercoursing. Okay, it's love. Love again. Love, more love, and more love. You can never have too much love. Okay, you can never feel too good. Okay, because love makes you feel good, right? Okay, so now, oh, I gotta stop. Assalamu alaikum. This is video 2. We're going to video